Hi everyone, Jennifer Blevins-Smith with Integral Clinic Solutions, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Navigating the Business of Medicine. Today I want to talk about CAQH and provider credentialing. This is a pretty straightforward video. It shouldn't take much of your time, but I just wanted to talk about the significance and the relation of using the CAQH portal and how it relates to provider credentialing. A lot of people ask me questions about CAQH because if they have worked in another entity, a bigger conglomerate, or another business, then most likely they haven't had much hands-on experience with CAQH, or they haven't in a while. That is because usually a credentialing specialist in whichever realm that you work takes care of that for you. But if you're looking at expanding, going out on your own, joining a smaller practice, that's when you're probably going to need to have more hands-on and knowledge about the information that's in there and how to get access to your portal. CAQH is usually very helpful if you call them and tell them who you are. You're a provider, you need your CAQH number, or you need a password reset. I'm sure there's certain requirements that they have for you as a provider on how to make sure that they're talking to who you say you are on the phone for security purposes, because CAQH profile has everything somebody would need to steal an identity. So they would need to make sure they do their due diligence to ensure they're not just giving access to portals to whomever calls and says they are who they are. All the information that they would be asking is stuff that you should know and have already because it's on you, so that shouldn't be a challenge. A lot of times, if you need to know your password and access credentials, you can get a hold of the credentialing specialist who has been maintaining that portal for you. Usually they're very good about that because it is technically yours. They're just maintaining it for you as like a favor. So they need to be willing and able to give you that information on demand when you ask for it. But if, there's bad blood there or you don't know who to contact and it would take more work to do that, like I said, contact CAQH and they'll be able to walk you through and help you with solving whatever challenge you're having. Having access to CAQH is really important because if you're going to be changing practices or starting your own, you have to make sure CAQH has all the most updated information for current, but also all of your past stuff as well. A lot of insurances use the CAQH profile with provider credentialing for that insurance company. There are so many out there. We have Blue Crosses, Aetnas, Cignas, United Healthcare, smaller local insurances will use it. Sometimes they'll use CAQH and need to have additional information sent to them, but it's in collaboration with the information in CAQH. It's also a way for re-credentialing to be done as well. They'll use that profile. So making sure that everything entered in your CAQH profile is accurate and up to date is super important, especially with starting your own practice, moving to a different practice. I really feel a provider should have some kind of accountability with this because ultimately it is yours and somebody has just been maintaining it for you, but ultimately it's your responsibility. It does need to be attested to every 120 days. I'm hoping maybe you've seen the emails come through that say, hey, you need to log on to CAQH. Your attestation is up in 30 days. It's up in 15 days. It's up in 5 days to remind you to go in, click the button to reattest, fix anything that might have an error, and you're good to go for another 90 to 120 days. But I'm pretty sure it's 120 days. The CAQH is so helpful. You can print out the information like a credentialing application type format. With that information, you can give it to credentialing specialists. You can use that information to fill out other things. You can use it as a reference. And it's just all around a nice holding spot that you know where all that information is. There's also documents that you have to upload into there. So like your licensures, your DEA, your certification of insurance for your liability insurance. You can put your CPR or any type of other certifications that you might have in there. So then you would know that you have copies there as well, which is kind of a peace of mind for me anyway, knowing that that is another like all-encompassing credentialing storage place. Provider credentialing is not hard, but it's a lot of moving parts and it's a lot of information that has to be supplied. CAQH was designed for all insurances, honestly, to use for credentialing purposes. Unfortunately, not all insurances jumped on board, but a lot of them did. And so that's why this is kind of like the main centric portal I like to think of for provider credentialing, because it can house all of the information. Even if an insurance company requires a paper formatted credentialing or recredentialing application, or they require their own application to be completed or information on their own portal to be entered, the information can be pulled from CAQH, knowing that the provider has looked at it, vetted it, confirmed it's all correct, and the person that's working on your behalf can feel comfortable and confident transcribing that information elsewhere where it's needed for credentialing and recredentialing purposes. So if you don't have access to your CAQH profile, I encourage you to get it. Even if you're not going to be doing anything active in it right now, you need to make sure you know how to get into it, where to get into it. They've updated the portal recently. It looks a little bit better, has a few other features that I wasn't familiar with until I helped a client kind of go through it for one of their providers. So that was really neat. But it is your responsibility as a provider to make sure you can access it, you know where to go for it, and that everything is accurate and updated. If you have any questions or comments about that, please leave that in the comments below. Also, before I go, I do have a credentialing and contracting course that I offer through the Thinkific platform. The link is in the description of the video if you're interested, or you can scan this QR code in that screen here that I popped up. So you can scan it with the camera on your phone and it will take you to the link so that you can take my credentialing and contracting course if you're interested, or you can sign up one of your staff members to take it as well. Smash the thumbs up button if today's video was helpful. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And please share this with your colleagues whom you feel would benefit. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.